Hello everybody, welcome back to the Robinson Trek. This is our London overview video. We're going to talk a little bit about what we thought of the city, some of the things we saw, the culture, the people, the sights.
Transportation.
Yes, so we're just going to dive right in. We'll start out with talking a little bit about the culture and people. Definitely it is no Dublin as far as your average person on the street that you talk to. If you're not there to buy something, not terribly helpful as a general rule.
Yeah.
Go into a pub, they're pretty nice. But if you just walk into some place and say, hey, do you know how to get to XYZ? Generally, they just kind of act like, oh, gee, I don't know, I've not been to London before. So definitely different from Dublin in that way. But even with that said, our hosts were amazing, and that definitely helped. The very first day we got there, they met us at the tube station, told us how to get where we were going, dropped off our packs, went straight down to, we went with them and some friends down to Notting Hill, right on Portobello Road. Went to this really neat little pub and just hung out, got to know them. It was definitely one of the highlights of the trip. It was an absolute blast. We were kind of instantly at ease with them. Mark and Katie were just absolutely wonderful. So we definitely enjoyed that part.
Our second day in London, Katie took us around, kind of on a walking tour around London. It was wonderful. We saw the Marble Arch, the Houses of Parliament, Westminster Abbey,
Oxford Street, Piccadilly Circus, Trafalgar Square. It was just, it was absolutely amazing, and the weather was beautiful.
And Big Ben,
of course.
The Eye of London, I mean, it was gorgeous. We had beautiful weather for that day, so thank you, Katie.
Yes, indeed. Yes, thank you very much. So she spent the whole, pretty much the whole morning and afternoon with us. And then we went to Wicked that night.
Definitely the highlight of my trip so far. It was absolutely brilliant. It was, just magical.
Yeah,
it was great.
It was a great show, great area. We had a blast. So yeah, culture and the people. Like I said, the people aren't as friendly, except for, of course, our hosts, which were wonderful. But just an absolutely beautiful city. Transportation-wise, very expensive. It's the most expensive transportation system in the world. So, and we definitely felt that in our budget.
Every day we went over budget, just because the transportation was so expensive, and we knew we would go over budget in London, so that's okay, we're compensating for it in other cities.
Yep, exactly.
But it is a very efficient system, very easy to navigate. They've got maps information everywhere that you go.
And people, they've got staff there that as you're kind of looking at the map, they come over, do you need any help? We can help you get where you need to go, handing you maps, that sort of thing, explaining everything. So that really helped a lot as well.
Yes.
It is a little slow, but you get where you want to go. Real simple. We used Oyster cards, and those essentially allow you to just hold it up to the stylus as you're going in. Tells you how much you have on your card. As soon as you get where you're going, you swipe it again, and it charges you depending on how far you went. Pretty handy. Costs £5 a piece up front to get it, but you get those £5 back at the end when you turn in the card. So. Overall, we'd recommend it probably. It saves you on each trip as well. It's discounted if you use your Oyster card.
So instead of doing like an all-day pass, just do a pay-as-you-go pass with the Oyster card.
Yep.
As far as
food and drink,
it was okay.
Yeah, I don't know, nothing magical. You know, we didn't really try to go all out on food and drink while we were in London. Again, we were trying to save because transport was so expensive. We did have a great traditional English dinner with Mark and Katie at their place, which was great.
Meat pie. It was fantastic. Probably one of the best meals we've had.
Probably the whole trip. Yeah,
it was very, very good. Wonderful mashed potatoes. The meat pie was awesome. We finally had some vegetables, so that was a highlight.
So far, no E. coli outbreak. Or E. coli. A little throwback there. So nightlife, actually, you know, we spent most of our nights in. We didn't go out super late. The first night, of course, like I said, we went to Portobello Road, which was awesome. Stayed out pretty late that night. Stayed up late with our hosts almost every night, and of course Wicked. So the nightlife was fun. We didn't do like the pub crawl thing like we did in Dublin, of course, but still really, really fun. Let's talk price a little bit. Like Ellie said, it's expensive. Everything's expensive. The food's expensive, the beer's expensive, and with the exchange rate being so terrible, that makes it extremely expensive. You go and you get a beer, and you think, oh, it's only £3. Well, £3 times 1.7 because the exchange rate, it's about $1.70, $1.75. So it's a pretty expensive city. Everything's very expensive. We did also, you should talk about the library.
Yes, so the things that we did go and see, we didn't pay to see anything in London. It was fantastic. We went on our walking tour. And then the last day we were there, we went ahead and went into the British Museum, which is free. Fantastic museum. I highly recommend it. It's large. They do have usually 1 or 2 paid events or venues that you can go and see that are special, that they bring in. They rotate.
Skip it though, because there's plenty to see for free. Lots and lots to see.
We didn't even make it through the whole museum.
No.
But it was incredible.
And you just donate. They've got little donation stations as you go in. So you donate, like $5, $10. Yeah.
And then we headed down to the British Library, which was amazing. That was one of my other highlights. They have all of these fantastic examples and writings in what they call their treasure room. So like Jane Austen's writing desk is there, and one of her journals. So original handwritten journal by Jane Austen. They've got a prayer scroll or prayer roll from King Henry VIII from the 16th century. They have literature and printings dated back to the turn of the century.
Yeah.
They have an example of the first color print that was ever produced. So it was very, very cool to see all of this history.
Yeah,
So-
very old religious text. So there's a whole section that's all just old religious text. I mean,
From all over the world.
Yeah.
I mean, it covers everything from Christianity to Judaism to Islam to religions that I hadn't even heard of
yeah,
before.
Buddhism, Jainism. I mean, they've got all of
Yeah.
these very old, very, very old scriptures. So it was really interesting, that whole section.
great.
Whole section devoted to music. There was Handel's Messiah, wasn't it?
Yeah, Handel's Messiah. Yes.
Yeah.
It was. I just get too excited. I mean, his handwritten notes and places where he had scratched out that where he wanted to put a different note. It was just amazing.
Yeah.
Stuff by Mozart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was pretty magic. Shakespeare, I mean, all sorts of
Yeah.
things. So we spent a pretty good part of the day in there as well. And then I think that was about the end of that day. We headed back, because we went and had dinner with our hosts. So anyway, London, amazing.
It was
Have to see it. You can actually do it for pretty cheap if you don't want to pay to go into a bunch of places.
Yeah.
If you really want to get inside, like if you want to go in Westminster Abbey, if you want to go in a lot of those things,
Or
it's
tour
gonna
Buckingham Palace.
Right.
It's going to cost you quite a bit.
yeah, it's going to cost you out the nose. So, to be honest, though, there was so much that we got to see without going in anywhere. You can save a lot of money by doing it that way. Definitely, it's a must-see. Get comfortable with the tube. It's actually pretty amazing once you get used to it, even though it is expensive. We just had a blast. London's a must. Do it. Anything else we want to add before we're done?
I don't think so. I think that's good.
Yeah, I
We
think
love
that's our
London.
overview.
So
Yeah.
it gets at least 3 thumbs up. 4 thumbs up?
4 thumbs up.
All right.
And I think hopefully, if all goes well, Mark and Katie will come visit us in the States.
Oh, that would be
You guys will get a
fantastic.
chance to meet them. So we're
They're
very,
great.
very, very hopeful for that. So anyway, I think that's it for now. That's London for you. If you have any questions, please feel free to put comments in. We can answer whatever you like. And thank you again. The Bias of beers have continued to come in. So
thank
again,
you.
we thank you. That has definitely helped the budget as well.
Yes.
So anyway, I think we're gonna go off and get a bite to eat here, and then we'll, I think next, give you a rundown on Edinburgh. So
All right.
until next time,
Cheers.
cheers.